What is going on, guys? Noon here at the MMO Play, bringing you guys a quick class guide for Diablo 3 Season 5. Now, Season 5 has just started. The ball has started rolling in the season, and a lot of people are getting into it, or have already gotten pretty far into the season, only being a few days in. Now, many people like to wait a few days because they are able to get carried once they jump into season, which isn't a bad thing. I do it sometimes too. It's nice to get carried and not have to grind for that first 3.5 hours trying to hit 70, but we're going to go ahead and jump right in and kind of show you how to play one of the monk builds for this season. Now, monk have some interesting and viable options this season, but this season in general, there's a lot of different viable options for a lot of different classes, including non-set builds, which I will go over in another class video, but not this one. This one is going to be a set build. I'm going to show you guys how to build it, and this is actually the free set you get from monks. I'm going to show you guys how to optimize it and what you're going to need. So let's go ahead and get right into it. This is the 6-set build for Sun Wuko's. This build I've enjoyed quite a bit, and preferably I enjoy it a lot more than the Inna's build. A lot of people say the Inna's build is better. I'm not saying it's not, but I gotta say I've had my fair share of fun running this build for now. So let's go ahead and get right into the items that we will need. Well, first of all, you're going to need your 6-set for Sun Wuko's. Starting off, this is going to be very essential. This is going to be very important. This is where a lot of your damage output is going to come from. And getting your 6-set is very important. You do get it for free this season if you choose your monk to be your first class. You do get a free set of gear. So you'll be able to obtain this pretty easily. Not a lot of grind involved for that. Next, we're going to need is our headpiece. We're gonna go ahead and switch this out for our Sun Wuko's helmet once you acquire Ring of Royal Grandeur, but I'll go over that later. We're gonna go ahead and need this helmet. Now, what this helmet does is it allows us to cast Wave of Light at our enemies. So without this helmet, I'll go ahead and take it off and show you guys. When I cast, we gotta switch over our spell. When we cast Wave of Light, it's cast right on ourselves or on our characters. But with this helmet, we are able to freely cast Wave of Light wherever we like. Now, this makes life so easy, so nice, and so beautiful. I gotta say, this helmet is a game changer for this build, and it makes it absolutely wonderful. It increases your survivability so much. You don't have to really get close to enemies. You can kind of sit back and just cast all the way over here and take out enemies. And not only that, this build hits really, really hard if optimized pretty well. So, getting this helm, pretty essential. You're going to go ahead and want to wear that and sacrifice your Sun Wuko helmet. It's going to be pretty important. Next, we're going to need these bracers. We need the Pinto's Pride. Now, what this does is it makes our Wave of Light hit harder, and it also slows enemies. That's really, really nice. Now, this pairs really well with the Bane of the Trapped. I'll go over the legendary gems after the gear, but this increases our Wave of Light and slows enemies. Really nice, really essential, a really great damage boost. Next, we need the Crutus Boots. Now, what this does is allows us to summon 2 Mystic Allies. Mystic Allies are very important in this build, and what they do is some people try to switch it up, or they do switch it up. I'm currently running. Let's go ahead and switch our Mystic Allies to the Fire ones. Now, having 2 Fire Mystic Allies is great because it gives us 20% damage enhancement, which is fantastic. So with this boots, without the boots, you only get 1 Mystic Ally, which is 10% damage enhancement. Now, with the boots, you get 2 Mystic Allies, which equals 20% damage enhancement. Really nice, really great. Once again, another damage booster, which is fantastic. Finally, for our weapons are extremely important in this build, and it's really what's going to take you and carry you all the way through pushing Greater Rifts and starting to really test yourself. Now, with the full 6-set in this build, you could easily do T6, but without these weapons, T10 is very difficult. But once you acquire both these weapons, T10 is a breeze, and I'll kind of show you guys that later on. So the first weapon that we need is Vengeful Wind. Now, what this does is increase the max stack count for our Sweeping Wind. Now, Sweeping Wind is very important for this build. Now, for Sweeping Wind, every time we have a stack of it and we use our Wave of Light, it takes away a stack from our Sweeping Wind, so that way it could deal enhanced damage. Now, If we use these stacks too fast, we run out of Sweeping Wind, we do less damage, and we lose a damage reduction, which is it's very important to have the stacks constantly up. That's why the range of this build is very good, and having this weapon to increase the stacks is also very good as well. Now, this was a low roll. You can get 7 increased stacks to your Sweeping Wind, increasing your Sweeping Wind stacks to up to 10, which is awesome. That's really great, and you can see I'll go ahead and equip it now. And Sweeping Wind is currently going to go to 9, and it's going to sit there. Next we need is the Kyosher's Blade. If I'm mispronouncing that, I do apologize. But what this does is increases the wave of light damage once again, and it increases it quite a bit. It increases it generally by 150%, and that if it hits 3 or less enemies, it increases it much, much more. So once again, damage enhancement, very, very nice. These two weapons working together makes T10 a breeze in your life very easily. And finally, we need this belt. This belt makes the build. It makes or breaks it, and I gotta say, this is one of the first things I aimed for when I was making my monk. This build kinda falls off a lot if you don't have the belt. Now, what this belt does is Sweeping Wind gains 2 stacks every second and does not damage any enemy. That's very important. Now, if you guys have played monks, in order to get stacks for your Sweeping Wind, you have to attack enemies, and it slowly goes down if you're not constantly attacking enemies, so it could be hard to manage. Now, with this belt and the range of our Sweeping Wind, or a Wave of Light, my bad, it makes this build constantly have max stacks of Sweeping Wind, which is fantastic, and it works beautifully. This build works just so well together, and sadly, it's okay with the full 6 set, but to really bring it together and really make it great, you do need every piece of the build, because it really does come together once you've acquired everything. And as for my rings, I'm currently trying to grind out a focus and restraint. I haven't been lucky enough to get a focus, so I'm just kind of running with convention developments. Really great ring. You don't need a focus and restraint. Convention of Elements is also really, really great and a viable option. It's worked pretty well for me so far. So, kind of whatever you want to roll on this. Focus and restraint is pretty good. A lot of people will argue Convention of Elements is better, and they're not wrong. I think it is, but I like playing around with focus and restraint sometimes because I like to change my build up. So, for our legendary gems, we are running Bane of the Trapped. Increased damage against enemies under control and pairing effects. This is really good because, remember, once again, our Wave of Light now slows enemies for each enemy hit. So, enemies are constantly under a control and pairing effect. So, that's constant damage enhancement. We're rolling with Bane of the Powerful. After killing an Elite Pack, we get a 20% damage buff. Really good. And last, we're using Bane of the Stricken. Each enemy you make an attack against takes increased damage by however many % based on whatever level your gem is. Also, more damage enhancement, really good. Now, what are we rolling for skills? Skills we're rolling, you can kind of use whatever you want for your primary. It doesn't really matter. You can kind of switch it up, play around with the build if you choose to, because essentially you're not really using your primary. You do not need to generate spirit, because you're generating so much over time with your Sweeping Wind at its max stacks, which is great. So, not really using too much on that, and that's awesome. So we're going to go ahead, and you can kind of just pick and choose really whatever you want for your primary. You're not really going to be using it too much. Secondary, rolling Wave of Light. Wave of Light, the only 2 viable options I really saw rolling in this build so far this season is Explosive Light, which is a fire one as you guys saw here, or Pillars of the Ancient if you're going to electricity build. This is a very fun way to roll this build, is by rolling Wave of Light with Pillars of the Ancients. It's a lot of fun. The damage does fall off a little bit. I think Explosive Light does work a lot better, and I've been able to clear 50s much faster with this. But Pillars of Ancients is viable. Not as good, but it's a lot of fun. Next, we're going Mystic Ally with our Fire Allies for damage buff. We're going Infamy with Desert Shroud for damage reduction. Or the damage that we take is reduced by 50%, which is great. Can't ever go wrong with this. Sweeping Wind, we're going with Inner Storm, so that way we generate more spirit, seeing as though this is constantly up 100% of the time. We are constantly generating more spirit, which is nice because we are spamming Wave of Light quite a bit, so it does get kind of costly depending on how much you're spamming it. And last, we're using Mantra Conventions. A lot of people, depending if you're pushing Greater Rifts, will go Mantra Salvation and roll Agility. It's a really, really great option. It increases your toughness and survivability a lot. But if you're not pushing and you're looking to do speed clears, which is what I do quite a bit, I go Mantra Convention with the Overawe, which is really good because it gives you more damage enhancement, which is not bad. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's worked pretty well for me, but if you're struggling to survive, you can go ahead and switch it up for Salvation with Agility. So give or take whichever one you want, play around with it, whatever feels good to you. For our passive skills, we're going Exalted Souls for more spirit regeneration. We're going Guardian's Path. If you're pushing, you can go ahead and Near Death Experience, or play around with it a little bit. Depends what you want. If you're rolling with groups, Unity will be a really good option as well. But we're kind of going with this one right now just because we increase our dodge chance, which is not bad. Increases survivability a little bit, but you can also go with Near Death Experience, which isn't a bad option as well. We're going with Harmony for our elemental resistance, which is great, and we're going with Sixth Sense to reduce our non-physical damage taken by 25%, more survivability. Now, finally, before we get into the build, we're going to go over what's in our cube. Now, what makes this build very, very important is what we have in our cube. The build's not going to be very viable. Like I said, there's a lot of things that you need in this build to kind of make it work, and it will take a little bit of a grind, but once you get it, it's very worth it because this build is amazing. So first we need the Incense Torch of the Grand Temple. Now what this does is reduce the spirit cost of Wave of Light by 50%. That is huge. It's the only skill that we're spamming, and seeing as though we're spamming it a lot and it requires spirit, is going to be pretty costly. So having this reduces the cost of it, which is really, really nice, and allows us to spam it a lot more. Second, we need a Cinder Coat. Cinder Coat is the next best thing you want in your slot. Like I said, if you're going with the Fire build, which does more damage, Cinder Coat is also fantastic as well. Now, what Cinder Coat does is reduces the resource cost of fire skills by 30%. More resource cost reduction, which is fantastic. It makes us spam Wave of Light so much we don't ever have to worry about resources because we're regenerating resources at this point faster than we can spend it, which is fantastic. And finally, we need Ring of Royal Grandeur, so that way we can roll with our helmet and our build. And once you kind of have all of these, it really ties the build together and makes it great. Now, will this build work with just your 6 set? It will. It will make you T6 ready. You'll be able to start farming some T6. Now, as far as anything above T6, you will struggle with it. But as you slowly start to acquire more gear and put more things in the cube and into your build, the game is going to become much easier to you, and this build hits like a monster. It hits like a truck. It's really, really good. I've enjoyed this build quite a bit. So enough of that. I'm going to go ahead and open up a Greater Rift 50. I'm going to go ahead and cut the video for you guys instead of you guys having to sit for about 7 to 10 minutes as I clear 50 solo. I'll go ahead and kind of skip it when I get close to the end, show you how much damage I can do against the Guardians. Alright guys, so we're just about done with this Greater Rift 50. I'm making some pretty decent time soloing it, but I just kind of want to show off the damage that this build can do and show you how fast I can kind of take down Rift Guardians at Greater Rift 50, just with some pretty decently optimized gear. Now, I haven't tried pushing too far with this build yet, and I know it's very capable. I've seen people already clear some 70s with this build, which is extremely impressive. But just right off the bat, once you kind of acquire every piece of gear, if you're not re-rolling stats, they're kind of optimize it the best you can. Right off the bat, your Greater Rift 50 ready. It's you can jump right in and go, and you'll make some pretty good times on it. Now, if you're rolling with groups, I mean, I'm sure the time clears will be even faster. But generally, you're able to carry friends or anyone through T10s and start speedrunning some 50s for gear and other classes and other things like that. So as you can see here, we're kind of, basically all we're doing is running around and spamming our Wave of Light. And as you can see, it deals a lot of damage. My average hit with this build is about 3 to 5 bill per hit. Now, my high crits can hit anywhere from 10 to 12 bill, which is a lot. It's a lot of damage, and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. And it does the job. It's really, really good for speed clearing. It's really, really good for taking down Rift Guardians. And as you can see here, it's really taken no time to start taking this guy down. We're kind of just tearing through his health. And as we keep back, we're just spamming our Wave of Light. And that's it. It's done. It took no time to take down a Greater Rare 50. I've been pushing a little bit farther than Greater Rare 50 lately with this build as I optimize it more and more, but generally right off the bat, it's a really good build. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to get the season going if you're choosing Monk as your first class, because like I said, this is the free set that you get from Monks, and let me tell you, it's a great set. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I enjoy it so much more than the Innis set, and for it being free, it's an easy way to get the season going and to start having a lot of fun with your Monk. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more, but until next time guys, I'll talk to you later.